Well, what's up, babes? It's cralisa Victoria. I am back with yet another video. If you guys are new here, hi, welcome to my channel. If you've already been subscribed, thanks for coming back. So this video is a subscriber's requested video, and this video is requested by Lovely Sunflower. So sis, if you're watching this video, she basically asked for everyone who wants to know what the question was. She said, can you do a video about your experience with combining locks, the method you used, and why. So the first thing I'm going to say about my experience with combining locks is it worked out for the better. I think when you start your locks, that might be something that you want to start considering early on. So for example, when I started out on this, because this is my second time having locks, this is my first lock journey. As I've explained in my past videos, that when I had locks the first time in undergrad, I just wanted to do something different with my natural hair and see my hair in a different state. But I didn't commit to it as though I would have committed to a journey as I'm committing to this set of locks. So in the beginning, I had way more locks. I knew that I wanted my size to be smaller than my first set of locks because I had gone to a loctician. I went to this popular spot near our school, and they did locks, braids and stuff like that, and they started them. Now at that beginning point, they didn't really ever emphasize, you knew you had the smaller locks. At that time, I don't even know if I knew smaller locks were called sister locks. I don't remember, but I know that if you go in there and you just say you just want your hair locked like the regular size, they're gonna do like a medium size. And it's like, you might not know any better at that time to be like, hey, make my locks smaller, make my locks bigger, or what the outcome would be. When they start those locks in those coils or whatever, you're already looking at your hair like, okay, it looks thin, it's gonna thicken up, but you don't have no idea that it's gonna thicken up as thick as it did. So I'm like, okay, if I ever went back to locks, I would go a smaller size. So I knew this journey, I wanted to go a smaller size. But I did go small, and as I started to bud up, so I didn't combine locks right away. As I started to bud up, and a little bit before budding up, I can start to see how my locks were beefing up, okay? Because it wasn't completely budded, but it was starting to beef up. And I'm like, okay, this lock seems a little bit too thin, this one seems a little bit too thick, let me combine them. And at that moment, right before I started budding up, is when I would combine some. So then fast forward, when my locks started to grow and they budded up, I was past that budding in the middle phase and stuff like that. I was able to really go through my hair and realize which roots felt too thin. There were some roots that felt like, okay, this is too thin. I know it's not giving me issues now, but over time, it's likely to, after retwists, it's likely to probably come out because the root to me just wasn't thick enough. So I would go to the neighboring lock, whether to the left or to the right, and figure out which one had a little bit more hair. And if I felt like I could take hair from both of the neighboring locks of the one that was thinner, then I would take hair from both and just wrap it. So that's about my experience with combing locks and the method. So I would say my experience was great because I was able to, as my hair developed, I was able to get the size that I wanted. In the beginning, obviously I knew I wanted smaller locks, so I went with a smaller, because I started my locks myself. I maintained them myself, I started them myself. So when I started them, I had a whole bunch of locks. I feel like I was closer to 200 something locks, maybe like 200. I was closer to 200, I believe, than I was to 170s, 180s. Don't quote me, but I have a lock count video on my channel, and if I remember correctly, I was somewhere between 175 and 178 locks that I have. And I ended up coming down a whole bunch of locks because I combined them over time. So I didn't wait long to combine them. I didn't wait till like, oh, I'm 2 years in. I combined a lot of mine early on, therefore they didn't have complete times to form. Like they weren't already complete mature locks before they combined. So I'm gonna just feel through my hair real quick while I'm talking to see if because I think I have I like to call them two-headed dragons, or locks that have married each other. I think I have a couple, maybe like one or two of them somewhere where it's almost like at the end of it. Or did it already grow out? I know I have one or two somewhere. And I think you're able to see the split. I'm just gonna feel to see if I could feel, because it's something. I don't think it grew out already. If it did, jeez. There's literally at least, there might not be many of them left, but there definitely may be like one I could like find in my hair to show you guys. I don't think it grew all the way down that quick. My hair has grown significantly, but I'm just trying to see, has it grown out already? It was like, it was getting toward the end of it where it was barely any hair left. Let's see. I'm not feeling it, I'm not seeing it, but I know, I felt like it was further up, but I'm not seeing it or feeling it. Hopefully if I'm looking at the camera, I'll be able to spot it if I see it. I don't even remember the placement as to where it was. I felt like it was closer to the front, but it might not even be that. Because I know sometimes when I do my braid outs or my 2-strand twist, I come across it and it's like two-headed. Not feeling it. I don't think it grew out. Like, I mean, I know they grow out, but geez, did it grow out already? I felt like I just recently seen it, so I'm not too sure that it did. I would love for you guys to be able to see what I'm referring to so that I don't just speak on it without being able to show you. But that might be what happens because I'm not feeling it. I don't feel it anymore. This is crazy. But you guys can see how long my hair has gotten. I can't find it right now, but that's basically what happened. So I think to be at the length in the look that I'm at now, the combining was definitely worth it. My experience was great. Of course, having more locks would be nice, but I felt like it needed to match the ratio of my locks. Now, I do have different sizes. I have some locks a little bit bigger than others, but I do know that as I got closer to the front, I definitely wanted to make sure that they were like smaller, because I felt like if there ever becomes a time where maybe I want to wear my hair straight and I just want to curl a few in the front, it would have a better look in relation to the rest of the hair. So it might be a slightly different size, but I do have different sizes in my hair. But I think overall, uniformity and stuff like that, it all sinks in. And there, like I said, there are some thicker ones, like this one right here. You can see it's thick. It's kind of thicker than if you looked at, I don't know, let's say this one. You can see the difference. But I think because it all combines so well, it's not a significant difference. So my experience went well. The next question you asked was the method that I used. So the method that I used was when I combined my locks, I was big on finger everything. I don't use combs in my hair. I know I've seen some people, I've come across their videos where they're using combs to like perfect their parts. I don't use combs. So when I'm doing my hair, a lot of times I feel like working on wet or damp hair is going to be better, because if you're working on your dry hair, chances of you popping your hair and it just feeling like very manipulated and forced could be likely if you're trying to do a lot of things with your hair in a dry state. So when I would combine, I would actually take my finger and part, like if I want a middle part and I'm about to style my hair or I'm about to do whatever, I'll just take a finger like that and I will part like that. And then I will just look at the lock and see, okay, does that go on the other side? Does it not? This is why I say having a routine is important, because if you're constantly in a routine where you're drinking your water, you're eating healthy, you're washing your hair on a regular basis, you will notice that maneuvering through your hair with your fingers is not a difficult process. It's not like, oh, this is just too painful. My roots are so soft. My roots are so soft. It does not hurt when I do that. But some people will take combs and separate. I just feel like combs have the ability to snatch hair, so I really stay away from them. So I would part my hair, right, and say I wanted to combine it. If it was parted already, that's one thing, but I would take the locks and see which two, like every lock didn't need to be combined. It's just when I felt like some had roots that were thinner than others, I would just look like, okay, these two look very, very thin. Now, I'm not saying right now, but at the time I was like, okay, these two look very thin at the roots. And then I would actually, I'm going to show you how I combine them. So this is, which leads into the next part of what you were asking about, what method I used, right? Or this leads into this part about what method. And I would just do it just like that, twist it at the root. Every time I would retwist my hair, I would make sure that I did not retwist them separately. I would always make sure I'm retwisting them together. And I would just like, I would retwist them just like this at the roots. Every time I would retwist my hair, retwist them like that, right? Eventually, they're going to merge together and they look like that. They'll look like that, right? Because the roots would have combined, the hair will look like this. As time goes on, they're going to start marrying each other. You got to think about which, before you know it, it'll go like this, like this, like this, like this, till you have the two-headed dragon like this. And then it'll just keep growing until it merges and becomes one lock like that, right? So shampoo for me has always been something that helps my hair to frizz better. It helps your hair to me, tangle or lock better, in my opinion, especially if you have curly, like finer hair. I needed methods that were going to help my hair just be like, marry each other. I couldn't, that's why it's like you guys don't see that I use conditioner all the time. I don't. Like, I use conditioner every blue moon. I just recently bought conditioner because I do want to incorporate some conditioning sessions into my summer just to rejuvenate my hair just in general. But I don't use conditioner all the time because conditioner would have had a reverse effect for me. It would have given me slip outs of my locks. It would have given me a curlier look then, and I'm just like, no. It was already looking like a wash and go for a few months when I first started my locks. It looked like I was always in a wash and go, and my hair was blonde, so it looked like I just had a curly wash and go. Like, if you were looking at me, you probably wouldn't think that it was supposed to be geared toward going toward locks. Baby, I was looking like it was a wash and go. So I would use shampoo. So back to like what I'm saying about it growing together when you combine them. The more you're washing your hair, the more you're putting your products and you're retwisting your hair and you're doing all that stuff, the more likely those locks are going to begin to like merge and merge and merge. Because you have to realize, if you go periods of time semi-free forming, or you go periods of time where you're washing your hair with shampoo or not washing your hair, your locks will begin to stick together. Especially if you go weeks or months without retwisting, which there's times I do that. There's times where I go 3 months and won't retwist my hair. I'll wash it, I'll do all of that moisture, but I won't wash it. And in those moments when your locks are beginning to grow together, a lot of times if you're not trying to be free-formed, you're going to go ahead and make sure you can separate your locks because you don't want them to merge. So when you do that, you just allow the ones that you do want to merge and combine, allow them to combine at that moment while you separate the other set of locks. So you have to just know that about when it comes down to yours. The method that I used was what I just showed you, that way, just kind of twisting them and continuing, like even with a retwist, when I put my retwist clips in, the two that I tried to combine that very first time, I will always group them together every retwist. Eventually they will start to, just like when you start your locks and you started to notice that you begin to bud and you get that bud in the middle and you feel that bud, it's kind of like that's how you'll kind of start to feel that little mini knot at the top of those two locks, and then you know that they're like secure. They'll still split, but you know as time goes on they'll just marry each other, and that's what it'll be. I use that method because one, it's the easiest. Like, I don't have to, I know some people probably crochet locks together, but I like to use the most organic ways. I don't have any intentions right now to comb my locks out again because I knew when I embarked upon, sorry, something's in my eye. When I embarked upon these sets of locks, I knew that I was looking at this as a journey. I don't have a timeline as to when I'm actually going to be like, I'm done. But if the day should come where I say I am done with locks, say it's 5 years from now and I'm like, okay, I lived my locked life, I'm good, I'm goody. I want to be able to take some hot water and conditioner and a comb and comb my locks out and save my hair. If I'm crocheting my hair, eventually that thread is going to merge into my hair, and when I'm trying to comb out my locks, who knows if I'll be able to comb it out. You know what I mean? It may get so tangled inside the lock that it makes it difficult for you to comb it out. I don't know. It may not, it may, but I guess I'm not going to know because I'm typically not the one to crochet. I think if somebody has like their whole head that they want to combine, you might want to look into crocheting. If you have 1 or 2 locks that you want to combine, just start twisting them together and retwist them every chance you get. Just keep twisting them. Even if you want to twist them all the way to the bottom. So say you have 2 locks, right? Say you have these 2 and you feel like they're thin at the root, you want to combine them. I say twist it all the way down, put a rubber band on there, and leave it. And eventually when you start to notice that it's merging together, take the rubber band off. Or if you don't want to have the fear of the rubber band growing inside of the locks, then change the rubber band every week and have it twist it together like so. Because some people do that. They'll twist them together and put a rubber band on it. And then eventually you can just take the rubber band off, and it'll, once you feel like it's gotten to a place where it's married in a good enough space. That's the method that I chose, just twisting it. Like I said, if you want to put a rubber band to secure it so it doesn't unravel, you can do that. But keep an eye out on that rubber band just so that it does not merge within your hair. Obviously, if it does, I mean, it just does. But you don't want things to just be becoming embedded in your hair without your consent of it becoming embedded. Because that could just be a whole hassle when it comes down. If, like I said, if I ended up being done with my locks, I would likely comb them out like I did my first set of locks. I would not save them. I would probably just comb them out. Again, I don't know. I'm not going to know until I get to that road and I cross that bridge. I might get there and say, hey, I'm going to cut all my locks and I'm just going to keep whatever little mini fro and grow my hair. And if I ever go back to locks, I can reattach. I don't know what I'm going to be. I don't know where I'm going to be when it gets to that phase of my life. But I know for now, I'm going to make sure that I'm putting products in my hair that are going to aid in the health of my hair, but also in the what if I wanted to comb my locks out 5-10 years from now. Do I have the ability to, because I used lightweight products that were healthy and I used methods, tactics that were going to benefit me in the now and benefit me in the future. So I think those are things to think upon when it comes to your locks. I think I might have answered everything. Let me see. My experience with combining locks, the method I use, and why. Yes, so those are the reasons. My experience was great. The method that I used was just 2-strand twisting it at the root and, you know, down the lock. And obviously it will unravel if you don't put a rubber band at the end. But just consistently every time I washed my hair, every time I retwisted my hair, I was making sure that I was always coupling those two. And whenever, you know, I put the clips on the hair, I would do it that way. And then, of course, that's the reasons why I did this. I hope that I answered everything that you asked me for. I wanted to make sure that I prioritized your request to make this video right away, just simply so that the requests didn't get lost in any other video or content ideas or any other questions that may have come up. So I hope this helped. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, guys. I know this could have helped more than just one person. And if there's any other videos, sis, that you need to see, just comment in the comment section below, as well as anyone else. If there's something that you feel like I might be able to speak upon as it relates to my locks or whatever on my channel, fashion, beauty, any of that, just comment in the comment section below. And if it's an appropriate question, topic, whatever, your girl is definitely going to be trying to incorporate it, because my videos are definitely here for you all. So make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let me know if you're locked in the comment section below. How long have you been locked? Have you combined locks? Do you want a bigger size, smaller size, etc.? And I'll see y'all in the next video. Later.